Hi, Karen Carreras-Hubbard here, Coordinator of Library Services. I'm going to give you a brief overview of EDS, which is the Ebsco Discovery Service. And it is located on the website, on the college's library website. So let me go back to the college's main site just to show you how to get there. So you're on the main BCC website, click library, and smack dab in the middle of the page right here is the EDS search box and a few other things. So EDS is EBSCO Discovery Service. That's what that stands for. And it is a special utility that we get through the Ebsco database company, and it allows us to do a few other things. It's really a discovery service, but also what they call a federated search, which means you could search a whole batch of databases all at once, where if you go to the A to Z database list up here, and we do that on one of the other videos, you look at each one separately, and it could take a while to get what you're looking for if you don't choose the right database right off the bat. And I do have up here finding articles and streaming videos, which talks a lot about the A to Z database list. So anyways, that said, not all of our databases are in EDS, which is why it's still valuable to sometimes use the A to Z list. But let me show you some of the things that we can do with the Discovery Service. So right off the bat, I will tell you one of the things that we can do is we can search for books, but unfortunately right now, because of renovations, we don't have books in the collection that you can obtain or you can access. So in light of that, what I will show you is how to get to other library catalogs. You could always place a hold and order books from other HELM libraries that are in the system. We're part of a consortium called HELM. I'm also going to show you how you can get to articles through this, as well as how you can use the publication finder, the supplemental sources, as well as some other resources and tools that they have on this system. So right off the bat, on the very top, you can connect to the A to Z database list by clicking A to Z database list, and it takes you to that list. So that's one of the things it does. LibGuides is our list of guides that we create for your use. They are curated websites that we take a look at in various subjects. So this is one way to get to it. I think perhaps a better way might be to use the search engine for LibGuides. That way you can, if you click that, you can immediately see what is current. And that might be a little more useful, but this is also fine to use. And then over here, course reserves. So if you're wondering what books we have in the library, and we keep one textbook of at least one textbook for every class, which you can use in the library, which right now is off-site, where our library is located on the ground floor of Susan B. Anthony in the old cafeteria because of renovations. But anyways, the course reserves will tell you, what books are being used by which class. And if you click that, it's going to take a while to load. It's just really slow. As you can see, I've clicked it and it took a while. But if I, scroll down, I could see, who the professor is, what the class is, and if I click on that, it'll tell me which books are being used. So that course reserves are up here. So that's actually all connected. We've incorporated that into the EDS module that we have located here. So if I'm going to look at just, what, let's say, eBooks are available, I'm going to go ahead and click here, and I'll type in biodiversity. Just see what do we have, and because I said catalog, it's just supposed to look at the HELM catalog. Sometimes it does odd things. So this is right off the bat, and it gives me some basic information on what biodiversity is, but I'm going to want to specify the source type. So I'm going to just want eBooks, let's say. So apply that. And then I want to make sure that I'm not looking at eBooks from other libraries. That eBooks is the sort of thing that we can't necessarily get from another library. So what I'm going to want to do is scroll down here. Let me just move this a little bit to library location. Let's see if it'll let me apply this filter, it may not allow me because I have my window open here. Let's see. Oh, here it is. And if I go ahead and I click Berkshire Community College online, okay, so that way it's just BCC. And although I may see that other college libraries in the system have a particular ebook, I want to make sure I'm only connecting to BCC's access to it. So right off the bat, I could see a batch of books, and these are all online books. They're ebooks, Biodiversity Monitoring Management. This one's from 2021. This one is from 2013. It's specific to a region, in this case, Malaysia. Now, I could add other terms in here to make it more specific if I want. This is Australia. I'm looking 2000. I'm looking at the dates: 1998, 1988, 2020, biodiversity and biotechnology. So I'm going to go with the first one because it's kind of on top, and it looks like a general monitoring and management utilization. So if I go ahead, it tells me there's 6 more available. So if I look there, I will be seeing BCC, and I do, Berkshire Community College. So access options, when I click that, oopsie daisies, I'm going to ask, I can retrieve it from the catalog, so that'll take me right to the HELM catalog, or I could go right to Berkshire Community Colleges. And when I do that, it asks me to sign in. So as you know, for a lot of our resources, if you're accessing them from off campus, you do have to sign in. And it can take a little while. Here we are, Ebsco. I have signed in. Access ebook or full download. I'm going to just access the ebook and see what I get, and hopefully it will take me to the ebook. It's loading my ebook experience. There it is. And there's a table of contents, which I can go to if I want, and I could scroll down if I want, or I could go to a chapter right away. It also gave me the option if I wanted to. I'll just click that out. If I wanted to download, which it allows me to do, and it will give me parameters of what's allowed. For instance, sometimes they only allow you to download 25 pages, and it'll tell you that right up front. So these are, full download right here. Apparently, you can download the full download. But anyway, so here is the ebook, and I could read it online. So because our 40,000 books are kind of off limits right now, being able to access our 500,000 ebooks is really useful at this time, at least at currently. So another thing that you can do is that you can go and you can search. Just going to go back. Actually, I'll just go back for a second and show you from scratch here. I could go ahead and I can search something other than online full text. I can actually get to the print books if I wanted to order a book from another library. So I'm going to kill the online full text, and I'm going to get rid of Berkshire Community College. I just went to advanced search. I'll do the last 5 years maybe, and I'm going to go ahead here and type in, let's say, biodiversity, and let's see, I guess that's it, just general field, and do a search. And I might still have to change some of the filters here. So when I do that, let me just make sure I'm not dealing, let me just source type. I want books, so I click books. I'll apply that, but I don't necessarily want ebooks. I might still get some here. Okay, so let's see if it'll let me see other collections. Electronic, we don't want electronic. Let's see what these filters say here. Catalog only, okay. Okay, so let's just see if I wind up with other. So I'm just looking to see if I see a call number somewhere. So this one, doesn't look like this is something that we have. So if I wanted to access it, I notice a call number, which means it's a physical book. It's at Massasoit. So if I look at access options, I'm going to retrieve it from the catalog. And we may not have this book. At Massasoit only has it. It's climate change and biodiversity. So if I wanted to place a hold on it, I would click place a hold. And then I'm going to have to type in my login and password, which is not your BCC login and password, just to confuse you further. Click Berkshire and it'll tell you right here. For students, your your username is going to be your student ID number or library barcode number, and that you could put up here. And for your password, it's 6-digit date of birth, just to be different, completely different than what you do for everything else. The HELM catalog, this is how it responds. So if you wanted to get a print book, and again, we don't have our 40,000 print books right now are off-site until the renovations are finished. So if you wanted something you could hold in your hand, a real life print book, this is the one way you can do it. And you could do it through EDS, or you could go to the HELM catalog and just do the same search and look for books among the other 14 out of the 15 community colleges, or 13 out of the 15 community colleges, and I think some of the state universities are in there too. So you really have a lot of print books at your disposal. It's just that you're going to have to order the book from another library. It usually takes about a week to get here, and we are back on the system, so they will bring it to BCC, and then they'll check it out. You'll have to use your student ID has a barcode on the back, and that's how we'll check it out for you. So that's another option that you have. So I'm going to go back to this search for books, articles, books, and journals. So we've kind of looked for an ebook. We've looked for a print book at another library and placed a hold on it. Another option that you have is to look for articles through here. Now you could go to the A to Z database and do each database separately, or you can look in here. So if you want to look in here, again, let's see, peer reviewed at my library. I'm going to go to an advanced search because I'm sitting here. Let's see, what do I want? I want, let's see, I want to start from scratch all over again. So, so I'm going to start this whole search from scratch. I can go back to a basic search, but hopefully now, since I've gotten rid of, I keep trying to get rid of the things the filters I've already put in. So I'm going to look for everything, I guess, articles here. And let me just try biodiversity conservation. Let's try that. And I'm seeing ebook collection. Let's see what else I'm seeing. I'd like to find a source type. So let me go with academic journals, and I'm going to apply that. So that way we just get academic journals, I hope. And unless I still also have, yeah, I see. So I see academic search complete. That's a database. That's these are all from different databases. Environment complete. So biodiversity conservation, maybe I could add something in here. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. But if I say and Northeast, I don't know, maybe New England, maybe Northeast. I'm doing this from scratch, so you can see if I make a mistake, this is the trial and error you may find yourself going through. Northeast, but I didn't specify where, so I wound up with other places. Oh well, so maybe I should say New England. Okay, let's try that, because otherwise I'll wind up with like Northeast China or Northeast Florida. Ah, yes. Data from University of New England, advanced, let's see, it's giving me Australia, New England University, dang. Analysis of New England Ocean Planning Network. Let's see, New England Aquarium, University of New England. Well, I guess the University of New England has all sorts of studies going, and it's places other than New England. So again, what you put in your search terms is really important. Let's see, an analysis of New England planning, oceans. Okay, I wonder if I said Massachusetts, but let's just click this one, because it at least it is New England. If I was really doing this for a paper, I would rethink this. I might put in Massachusetts. I might put in Connecticut. I might, put in other terms. So this is giving me, it's giving me, it looks like, access options, an article that we may not have. Oh no, recent view record from Science Direct. So if I click that, Science Direct is a kind of a peculiar database. It's a little harder to get to, but it did link me to it here. It's an excellent database. It's a science database. So it looked across all of our databases. It found this article. It's only available in Science Direct. And I could view the PDF if I want. If I do that, once I do that, I can actually print it, or I could download the full issue even. I could read it here. I could cite the article. It'll give me citation formats. Export it to text is probably what you might want to do. So then you have it here, and then you could put it into your paper and to your bibliography. Although sometimes at the end they may give it to you. Yes, no, maybe. If it gives me the abstract, sometimes it includes that, but I don't see it listed there. So you would have to do it the way I just did it, citations. You could view the PDF, and they may make other suggestions over here for other articles. So, and here's your table of contents, so you could go directly to a table of content. So, it's another option that you have, is you can find articles. And if you are coming from the library itself, I'll just show you some way to do that. If, let's say, you weren't interested in books, you were just coming over here and you're looking for articles, the best way to do it right off the bat is to click peer reviewed rather than catalog only, and then type in here, let's say biodiversity, and let's say Massachusetts. What do we get? Search. Yes. Bird communities reveal the ecological value of non-native Norway spruce plantations in Massachusetts. Biodiversity in Martha's Vineyard, biological soil crusts and sand dunes. So I'm getting much more. I would say that if you are looking for books, look for books, and then come back out and do your search for articles, because you probably will get more items. So if there's something here, let's see. Why not Cape Cod? Access PDF right now. If I do that, it takes me to the article right away. And I'm just going to click this out. I see that is, if you want to cite it, it'll give you all the different citation formats for it. Chicago, MLA, APA is right there. You could just copy and paste it. Styles, if I click that, there it is. Copy and paste it, and then you could put it right into your bibliography. I'm figuring that it's probably APA you might be using for this. You could listen to the article, add to project. You could save the item. Share it if you want. So those are some of the many things that you can do with this, which is really useful. So we've looked for articles, we've looked for books, we've looked for ebooks, we've figured out how to place a hold on a print book using EDS. A few other things that we have: publication search. So I just clicked publications over here on the side, and let's say you're wondering, in all of our many databases, where is the New York Times? So rather than going through a whole batch of databases looking at each one to see if it has a New York Times, you could use this publication finder, and it will tell you right off the bat. And it's telling me that we have the New York Times in all of these different databases, and I'll tell you the best one is probably U.S. Major dailies. And if you click that, it'll take you to ProQuest, and then you could choose the date that you're looking for, and it's probably going to ask you manage cookies. I'll just click that off. A lot of them will ask about cookies. Just click it off or say yes, and that's fine. You could choose the date that you're interested in. The publication finder, which is right here, I'm going to just go back to it. Let's see if I could do that so you could see where I was. Here we are. If I click publications, again, it takes me here. I could do my search of a publication. I could also browse by subjects if I'm interested in. Let's say biodiversity is a pretty specific topic. There may not be a lot of publications with just that, but maybe it's ecology I'm interested in. So if I go down to science, I can look and see if they have a subset for ecology or environmental studies. And what do I see? Let's see, maybe it's under biology. Might be, yeah, there it is. Under biology, there's ecology. There are 315 journals. And if I click that, I'm going to see a list of 315 journals. So I see Oxford Press, Studies in Environmental Science, Acta Ecologica Sinica, Adaptation and Environment. That's from Princeton University Press. Oh, that was a book. Some of these are books. Okay. So if I want to specify, journals, I have to click journal for that. Okay, and if I do that, then I get all the journals. So there's 102 of them. And animal biotelemetry, Annals of Earth, Annual Review of Ecology and Systematics, Applied Soil Ecology. So you can see all of these, and they'll tell you what database it's in. So if I had to look into every database to find some of these, I could spend a lot of time. But if I go ahead and just do a subject search for what are the journals that we have in a particular subject area, this is the best way to do it. And again, it's going to that publication search, which is located right here. The last two things I'll show you is a concept map right here. Concept maps are really pretty cool because if you're trying to figure out what you're going to write a paper on, this is really useful. I can look at something like explore the concept. I'm looking in biodiversity. Let's say I'm not sure what I'm interested in really. And if I keep clicking this little arrow, ecological crisis, extinction, well, that's pretty final. Invasive species. So I could explore the concept further, or I could add that to a search. And you see right there, it added it to a search, which is really kind of cool. So I could build a search using this. And I'm looking at it as a grid. There's also a map form. This is the map form. So there's that invasive species. If you like map form better, and I'm a visual person, so this probably works better for me. Invasive species, and let's say biodiversity loss. If I add that to a search, and then if I say, okay, full results, I'm searching 2 items here. It will pull up everything with these 2 topics: invasive species, #1 driver of biodiversity loss. Of course, it's Australia, so I would have had to specify a country perhaps, but this is an ebook, Invasive Species, Ecological Management Strategies and Conservation. So this might be a good general useful item to use. It's a book, and they're giving me everything in this case because I'm using the concept map, so I didn't specify a source type. Again, you could change the source type if you want. I could just ask for academic journals, and then you'll just get academic journals. But here I can see here's a Life Science Weekly. So there are some journals here. Here's another academic journal, Non-Native and Invasive Tree Species, Their Impact on Biodiversity Loss. So this is on presence in European forests. So that's, again, an article. So there are articles, there are books, but what I did was I used the concept map to get me there. And again, you have an option to either use the grid format or the map format. Again, I kind of like the map format because then I could add, I see it. Maybe that's it. I can see it, so it's easier for me to deal with that. And if wild animal suffering. So if I click that and I want to explore the concept further, it opens up to other subtopics. So animal rescue groups, let's say that's sort of an interest. I could add that to a search. And so that added that to a search, and I'm just doing another search here, animal suffering. If I click that and I add that to a search, and then I go ahead and say full results, I'm going to wind up with, again, articles. Oh, it turns out there is nothing on that. And that sometimes happens, but I could clear all filters and then start over again. So this resource is really useful, the concept map. And again, it could either show it to you as tiles, kind of in a grid format, or as a circle in the map format, which I find a little easier to use. The last thing is supplemental sources. And there are some items that we just um, they don't work with EDS because of the type of database it is, and that includes all of our fabulous cooking and cultural databases that deal with culture and cooking, culture and foodstuffs, spices, and that sort of thing. And that includes A to Z Food America, A to Z World Food, as well as A to Z World Maps, which has historic maps going back to ancient times. The Chronicle of Higher Ed is in here. Our genealogy database, Heritage Quest, is in here. Nexus Uni is a newspaper database. We have an excellent nursing database that does not search well with EDS, so I would do it separately, either as an A to Z item or in here as a supplemental source. Peterson's Career Prep, if you're looking to put together some research for what you want to do when you get out of college, or if you are interested in test preps, and they have everything from the SATs to Accuplacer in here. They have practice tests, that's in here as well. Science, ProQuest Science, unfortunately doesn't work well with EDS, so you have to search that separately. If you're trying to learn a foreign language, Transparent Languages for Libraries is great because it is interactive, and you'll learn how to speak a language using it. And then Visible Body and U.S. Major Dailies ProQuest, which did sort of work kind of with EDS, but it also works standalone. Visible Body is a three-dimensional A&P database. You could actually do sections on. It's pretty cool. You could do them on your phone, and they're 3D, and they kind of pop out at you. So anyway, so that's kind of an overview of the Ebsco Discovery Service, EDS. I know it's kind of lengthy, this video, but there is so much that you can use this for, and hopefully you will. And I just noticed welcome guest searchers, sign in for additional access. So if you're coming from home, you might have to, you might want to sign in again, as if you haven't signed in enough, but it just, recognizes you in that case. And My Ebsco is something that I do mention in some of the other videos. If you sign into My Ebsco, you can create an account right here. Or once you create an account, you could sign in, and that allows you to save your searches. So that's one more feature that if you're using EDS, if you're using any of the Ebsco databases, especially if you're using eBooks and you want to keep returning to them and save your searches and that sort of thing, definitely you might want to go ahead and create a separate account that is totally different than what your username and password might be to get into your email, whatever. You could use the same one, but you might want to use something different. But you might want to go ahead and create your own account in Ebsco. Once you leave BCC and you go to other institutions, you will find that these types of utilities are really useful when you're doing higher level graduate or even undergraduate work, and you're doing, really serious research for maybe a bachelor's thesis or a master's thesis. Being able to save your searches and even have search alerts for when an article gets published and you're notified, oh, this article just came out. That is really, really useful. So it doesn't hurt to start using it now when you're earning your associate's degree. You have a brilliant future ahead of you, and I wish you all the best luck. Thank you for watching this video. Take care.